Hello, today we have a review about the Apex Cam, and this is the 4K 30 frames a second model. And at this point I've used this in a whole bunch of different ways. I want to talk about the good, the bad, and what I think of this camera system. So here we go. I've already done an unboxing, so this is not going to be that, but I do love a good little carry case. So this guy right here is the Apex Cam 4K 30 frames a second, and very small, very light. In my use of this over the last few weeks, I've got a few conclusions, and the main one being for the price point of this, and I may have called this cheap, and what I mean by cheap is affordable. It's very, very affordable for the camera, for what you get, and if you're beginning, you want to give a camera to, say, a youth, an adolescent, a child, and you don't want to be too worried about it, this is the perfect camera for that. If you want more bang for your buck, this checks them boxes too, because for what the price point, you are getting a lot of different accessories, a lot of different options, and it works real well for the price that you're getting. Now, of course, you can spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars to get action cameras, right? There's a whole bunch of different variations out there now, and you're going to get stabilization, you're going to get higher frame rates and different resolutions, right? If you don't want to spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars, this one I would highly recommend for that purpose. Now, I've used it in a pool, I've used it different action scenarios, like on my bike, testing it out on different places, and I'm going to put the footage up soon. And I've also put on my drone. So I'll specify right now, using it with my drone was not the best idea. Now, do I think this is designed to go on top of a drone? I don't think it is, in all honesty. But I thought, why not, right? I thought, let's just put it to the test. And I really think I'd like to see what the 60 frames a second version of this can do on top of my drone. That might be better suited to it. I think just with the vibrations on top of the drone, with the quick movements and all the different variations and the different lighting conditions and the wind, all of that stuff results in probably not ideal footage. But it handled it great. It went on there, and it was awesome. It was a cool, lightweight camera to be on top of a drone. So I wouldn't say it's perfect for that, but again, I don't think it's designed for that. So that's just my one case scenario I used it for, and I probably wouldn't recommend. But other than that, in a pool with kids, jumping in the pool, going underwater, all that stuff with the included dive case, again, an included dive case. You don't have to purchase it extra, which for most things you do. This performed fantastic, and I had a little floaty from another device, a little, like, you know, the three prongs and then the floating device. You'll see it in the footage. I put it on there. This thing was great, and actually this thing is actually buoyant because there's air that gets trapped inside of it. And then it's just knowing what buttons to press. I kept going to the menu system by accident, but the fact that this thing, you know, just 4 buttons on the front and or around the body of it, and you can do what you need to do. You can go into the settings if you want. You can record, you can take pictures, you can do all the different settings as you need to while it's underwater. And they thought about it, right? They thought about the design of this, even just like the placement of the different mounts and the fact that they included a lav mic. I've got an audio test coming up in a moment. So yeah, just blown away at the price point, what you're getting and what you can use it for. So that was the pool. I thought the footage looked great and it was really usable. The other one would have been on my bike. So really that was just to simulate. It was over 100 degrees here in Vegas. I didn't want to go like hundreds. I didn't want to go miles and miles and miles on my bike. Plus I needed to inflate my tires. So I just kind of mounted it in a few different places just to illustrate where you could put this and how great it was. And I just added a couple of mounts, which is the magic mounts that go into a quarter 20 and have little clamps on the end of them. A few different variations of that, but use that, put this on my bike, mounted in a whole bunch of different spots, and I thought it looked great as well. So yeah, just very versatile little dude. And in that instance, I didn't have this case on. You might want to put this on if you want to be a bit more conscious. If you're going, you know, 40 miles an hour down a hill, you might want to put the case on it. But I just had it all naked, and it worked great. That's kind of a few different scenarios. Now I could have gone on a hike and whatnot, but really it's just a case of, it's an action camera, it does what it says in the tin. And the fact that it's 4K, I really like. So 30 frames a second, great. Again, I would really like to see the 60 frames a second and see how that goes. So what we'll do here is we'll go to my backyard stuff with the drones, and we'll go to my little tests, and we'll take it from there. Here is me in the backyard. Okay, so we're outside. We're going to do some tests with the Apex camera. I've still got the floaty on from using it in the pool. So we're actually just going to take it out of its enclosure. This is going to go on 2 drones, and I want to see how it fares there. Let's double check our battery. And our battery's looking good, so I'm not going to change it out. Let's do whichever drone this is first. Avata 2. So let's open up our bag of tricks that we got with the Apex camera. One thing I've noticed is the feet are directly under where the lens is, and that means that your shot's going to be centered. So when I put it on, say, the Avata, and I put it on these prongs, the lens is going to be, it's going to be a little bit one-sided here, but the lens is going to be right over the middle. So I'm going to get a center shot. Whereas I noticed with some of my other action cameras, they're all off-centered. So obviously this is off-centered, the lens being here, but if you're mounting it right here, then your shot's going to be slightly over. So there we go. And obviously this is a use case scenario for me specifically by mounting this to the DJI Avata and my Air 3. Not many people may be doing that, so this is really just an experiment to see, can you and should you, and is it going to interfere with any of the sensors, but nothing to do really with the camera. But of course, if this setup works and you get some great footage out of it and you can stabilize it in post, awesome. And by the way, 100 degrees in Vegas right now, so if you see a little bit of sweat, it's 100% warranted. I'm going to use caution here. I'm going to do it without the goggles on. So that was test 1. I definitely didn't hit record on our camera, so let's do that. Let's take on a little bit more of a flight. And I've still got satellites. Right, so there you have it. Let's stop recording on this. Hi kids. There's normally if I want to put the Insta360 Go 3S, if I want to put that on there, that's be my other setup right there. DJI Avata, check. I was thinking I might do a flip or two, but I don't want to risk it. Because if it drops, then it breaks the camera and it breaks the drone. All right, next is going to be the Air 3. Our setup right here. All right, I'm just going to send it. Having zero issues here. I wouldn't even know the camera was on top. It's pretty light. So let's stop recording here. I can say that it's super light. We'll review the footage, see how it looked. We'll stabilize it, see how it was. Got a couple more experiments. So that was the drones, just to see. And again, if you're gonna put a camera on the top of a drone, and if it were to fall off or to have an issue, then you probably wouldn't want your most expensive camera on top. We are gonna go out front and we're gonna put this on my bike and ride around and see how that looks. So I'll see you out there. Okay, so here's gonna be our test for the Apex camera on my bike. So we're gonna use the included mount right here, ride around, put it in different angles. I actually also have additional accessories here, which is 2 Magic Smart Clamps, whatever you want to call them. Still 100 odd degrees, still sweating. I'm gonna sweat a bit more on the bike. Here we go. All right, and that was the bike test. So plenty of different angles. We're gonna go back, by the way, Vegas is hot. Back to my studio when I'm gonna be nice and cool. Let's go. Perfect. So that was a few different scenarios. I used it and I've reviewed the footage. Now that I'm filming this, I've already gone through the footage yesterday. And yeah, I really like what we got there. I haven't edited it together yet, so you're gonna see that before I do, right here, right now. But that is how I used it, where I used it, the footage. And I did throw in the Insta360 Go 3S alongside this. Now, by no way, shape or form is that a comparison, because can you really compare a $400, I think it is, maybe even $500 camera to a sub $100? I know this is actually a lot less than that, but could you really compare the two? And you really can't. So that was just to really capture footage of this while I was testing this. Yeah, I was impressed with what I got. Very surprised at the quality in this. Again, the drone footage didn't turn out fantastic just because really too much going on for this thing, but that's fine. And then here is the audio footage. So I took my DJI Lav mic plus the Lav mic, connected directly into this, and I've also listened to that as well, and I believe I think it's fine. I think it's perfect. I haven't put it to my editing software yet, but you'll see it right now, and you'll hear it right now, and this is the difference between the two. We're going to do a little mic test. Mic test. So this is my DJI Lav mic plugged into the DJI Mic 2, plugged directly into my camera using a little hot shoe attachment thing. The Apex camera does come with a lav mic. It's a USB-C lav mic. So we're recording, and this is a mic check. So actually let's put it on my chest here, which is how I would normally have it. So mic check 1, 2. So this is the difference between the Apex cam mic, and this is the difference with my DJI mic. I don't know the difference at this point in time. I haven't listened back to it, but that's going to be how it is. If you was going to be talking directly into it like this, great. When I got my very first action camera, I never thought of getting a lav mic. I put a shotgun mic on the top. So the fact that they thought of adding this in and a little, you know, USB-C to the side. Clearly you can't use it when it's in its case because there's just no option for that. But when it's just in this little naked form and you just want to get a little bit of better audio than what you would be getting out of any action camera, then this is what it sounds like. So this whole time it's been, I'll put a little caption underneath when I'm using this, but this has been the Apex Cam lav mic test. And there's the lav mic test. So I thought it sounded great on my initial review, and I'll get a better feel for it when I put it together, but I didn't really see much difference there. And again, I didn't think about putting a lav mic on an action camera for any reason, but they thought of it, and actually it makes sense to get the best audio from a small device like this. And there we go. So in conclusion, great value for money. You've saw the footage, you know, make your mind up for yourself. But if there's like probably 10 different scenarios that this camera makes sense for. Budget friendly. If you want to give it to kids, if you don't want to be too concerned about it, if there's a risk you may lose it, if there's a risk that it may get damaged in some way, shape or form, all these different scenarios, this makes sense to have. If you have more money and you want to go and get the best and the greatest out there, you can absolutely do so. But for this price point, I highly recommend this. So any questions, let me know. And at this point, we'll say, have a great day. Bye.